Writing code worksheet number 3, selected answers. Visual Basic students so far in this course have learned how to use a couple of the famous types of objects, message box, label, and a new one that I just introduced the other day called text box. So in general, message boxes, anytime you're doing something in a message box, you start your line of code with message box. Are there any more in this worksheet? Yes, number 2 is also a message box question. And what other number? Number 9, someone in the classroom says. Yes, perfect. No talking in the back of the classroom, especially since we're on video and you don't want to be embarrassed for the next 20 years to have evidence of you talking out of turn. Okay, message boxes work differently from labels and text boxes. So let's go check out one of the text box questions here, number 4, and notice that that line of code starts with the phrase txt quantity. That's the inbox right there. That's the inbox that goes with the outboxes. So txt quantity, and number 5's tricky because we have a label and a text box being used. I'm going to skip over that one for now. Okay, the rest of the questions have to do with labels, specifically number 6. You know that this is a label because the prefix that's being used here is LBL. And anyway, the name of the label is LBL greeting. Just like the name of the text box up here, number 4, is txt quantity. So in general, the name of the object that you're presenting information in is the first thing that you have on that in the answer. Now here's where we have to be careful. Message boxes, they work with the method called .show. I'm just changing color here to highlight it. Message boxes are always .show. You do not do a .show with a text box or a label. No, that's a different technique to put something in there. With text boxes and labels, you always put .text as the next part of your answer with a capital T, and there are no spaces in here. I'm purposely skipping numbers 5, 7, and 8 because they're tricky for a whole nother reason. Now, when you have a message box and you're forced to use .show, because show is a method, a verb, it's a method, it needs a set of parentheses. Because text is a property that we are learning in this class, the next thing that you do is always an equal symbol. Oh, here was a message box. So tell me, manual, what should I have after the dot because that's a message box? .show, very good. He's already now learned this pattern. Okay, back up to the top. With these message boxes, you have to ask yourself, what is it that I want to show? What is the phrase that should pop up in the window? A message box is really a pop-up window. Well, you just look at the question that you have, and you find whatever's in the double quotes. Have a great day. Instead of hello world here, it's have a great day. But you have to put double quotes around it just like you memorized about the at the beginning of the school year, just like you memorized that you have to do with hello world. You need a set of double quotes around whatever phrase, whatever string, it's called a string, text you want there. Okay, so here, oh, this one's trickier. There is nothing in double quotes. See this? There's nothing in double quotes that we're putting in the message box. But we want whatever's currently found in this label called LBL cost, whatever's in there. It might be the name John. It could be something else. It could be a high score like 413. We don't know. We don't know what's in this label. But we do know that the name of that label is LBL cost. So whatever's currently in that label, we can pull that out by typing LBL cost here. Well, if it's LBL cost, it's probably a number that's in there, like $12 and 99 cents is probably like an example of what might be in there. So we type LBL cost, and we always need this annoying .text here. That's the answer to problem number 2, which was the trickiest thing on this worksheet. Because you see, now when this line of code executes, a pop-up window, also known as a message box, pops up. And instead of having hello world show up, whatever's in the label shows up here also. Now on a message box, the letters OK always show up. So this is the message box, and it's going to clone or mimic whatever's in the rectangular label that's on the screen at the same time, because that's what this line of code does. Moving on. Okay, number 3, that's so easy, application.exit. Some people in the homework, they wrote program.exit. Well, I know what you meant, but unfortunately in Visual Basic, the keyword for referring to a program is application. Okay, so that's the way it has to be typed. In exit, it's also a method just like show. So because it's a method, we need this set of parentheses, just like we needed this parentheses here with show. Eyeballs up here, please. See these patterns? See these patterns? Anytime you have a method like show, you need parentheses. Anytime you have a method like exit, you need parentheses. And methods are verbs, like action verbs, like show something, to exit the room. Okay, so moving on to the rest of the worksheet. Do we have any more message boxes? Oh yeah, we have one down here. Well, again, there's nothing in double quotes here. The original problem doesn't have like hello world in double quotes. But what is it that we're trying to show? Yeah, you raised your hand, Victoria? 19610. So you put 19610 in there, but then you ask, do I need quotes around it or not? Well, if it's a word, you always need quotes around it, like hello world. But numbers can be thought of as a zip code or a number. Like a zip code is a number, is a piece of text, like 19610. We don't say 19,610 because this video is right now being recorded in the great town of Wyomissing. Somebody in California would look at that and say, what's special about 19610? They would think it's a number. So they probably would not put quotes around it. But because we think of it as like a piece of text, like a zip code is, we probably would put text or quotes around it. So really the answer could be either way, with or without quotes for problem number 9. But up here in numbers 1 and 2, you have to have, well, number 1 I meant to say, you had to have quotes. Hey, what would be wrong if somebody put quotes around this answer? Somebody tell the audience here that's listening to this video, what would be wrong with the answer for number 2 if you actually put the quotes there? Would your message box have 12.99 in it? No. Victoria, go ahead, elaborate. What would the message box have if you accidentally put quotes there? Yeah, it'd be the letters LBLCOST.txt, which no customer wants to see that as a price that they owe. That makes no sense to a customer in the store. They want to see the $12.99. So the correct way to code this is to not have quotes there for number 2. Okay, finishing up number 4 before the bell rings here. I have 3 minutes of video time left. Numbers 4 and 6. Well, because it's .text, you do not use parentheses like you did with .show. You use this equal symbol I already told you. Now, to clear something out means to put nothing there, which is the same thing as putting 2 quotes right next to each other. That's what it means to clear a text box. Number 6, if it's the phrase hello that's in double quotes, then that's what I want there. That was easy. Now we're left with the hard ones. The hard ones, the bell's not ringing yet, just be patient. This is going to be something equals something, something equals something, and something equals something. Numbers 5, 7, and 8 are sort of related to number 2. Good luck with these. You have to have the right thing on the left side and the correct thing on the right side. Some of you in that graded homework, you had them reversed. Good try, but we'll learn this more thoroughly later in the unit.